You're this perp back with yet another video. Just got done watching episode 15 of Attack on Titan season 4, or better yet, the season finale. Bro, based on how this episode ended, they're going to come back with a part 2, bro. There's no fucking way that they're ending this next week. Speaking of next week, I will be doing an AOT live after episode 16 at around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so definitely pull up for that discussion. Whew, so let's get right into this episode, because we finally get more backstory on Zeke and who he was as a character, or how he is, like what made him the person he is right now, especially with his glasses. Who was the Beast Titan before him? It was a guy named Tom, but I'll get into all that very shortly. But when you see this episode and you kind of see how much of a dick Grisha was in this episode. Grisha is the equivalent to Joe Jackson, very much so. He put so much pressure on Zeke, and we find out that, you know, it wasn't all Zeke that snitched on his parents. It was the guy that was inherited, like the Beast Titan at the time, was telling Zeke to do this. So, you know, it'll look good for you, it will save your grandparents, and you could save lives. But you have to throw Grisha and your mom under the bus. But I like how we see that Zeke really struggled as a kid and being accepted, and he had to really prove himself. He is very much so like Eren or like Reiner. You know, those three characters are very similar. You know, even though he has royal blood, he's very special in that case. But I love that we get to kind of dive more into his character and realize that Zeke was never really a bad person. You know, he had to do bad things for other reasons. You know, he didn't really like what was going on with this whole war. He doesn't really care for Marley. He just has to play his role, and he has to be the one to, he feels like he has to be the one to kind of save Eldia. And we learn more about the Titans. Tom tells them about, you know, the subjects of Ymir. They're all connected to the founding Titan. This all started when Ymir touched something, and I feel like we're going to get a lot more of that in the future, depending on where they take this series. Like I said, if we come back with it to part 2, or we come back with a couple of movies, I'm cool with either or. But things are getting really interesting, because not only can the founding Titan control other Titans, but it could actually change who or what that person is. I'll explain that more as I rewatch this episode, because I kind of want to think about this and see where this is going to go as far as Eren's personality and stuff, and just how he's going about things right now, currently. Why the sudden personality change. So, as we get all this backstory on Zeke and stuff, and why he has those glasses is from his friend Tom, or I guess he kind of looks at him as a father figure, and he also struggled with just being a kid. Like, he never got to play with his dad. Like, they never had a catch. But the only person that was willing to just have a whole conversation with him is the guy Tom. And even the guy Tom has a tragic backstory that he tells throughout this episode. But I just love how they're just tying all this stuff together with just Zeke, and, you know, finding out that Zeke knew exactly what was going on. You know, he knew both sides. He knew the Marley propaganda, and he knew what his father told him. But I feel like Grisha pushed him too far over the edge, to where he just doesn't want anything to do with that. Like, Grisha's like literally like forcing him into this lifestyle. Like, how he kind of looked at Eren being brainwashed by him, and that's why he wants to save him. And we finally get that conversation that Eren and Zeke met up that first time and talking about their father. And even Eren realized that Grisha's way wasn't the right way. The only way to kind of just, they both have similar ideologies. They want to both get rid of the Titans and stop all this, stop this cycle of like war that's going on in the world. And if it means killing other people, like certain people and stuff, to make that happen, they're gonna do it, man. But this episode ends with Zeke and Levi, you know, going back to them. Zeke's just really emotional, kind of always, he said he's always gonna think about Tom. I forget his last name. I'm drawing a blank on his last name. But he lets out this like burst of outrage, or whatever you want to call it, and it sets off the Thunder Spear. And I don't know if Levi made it or not. That's gonna be interesting. Or if Zeke is able to make. Obviously, Zeke might be able to survive that. I don't know if Levi will. That's how they pretty much cut off the episode. But I really appreciate everything that went into this episode, getting Zeke's side of the story and seeing what type of character he is and where he's come from. Man, Grisha's really fucked up, so none of them really care about Grisha. I'm wondering if Zeke is going to try to take the Founding Titan from Eren. I'm wondering if that's going to happen, like, and he's just playing the part and whatnot. And he even makes mention, like, yeah, we shouldn't shake hands or nothing, because we shouldn't do that right now. And maybe Eren's thinking the same thing, like, I'm waiting for the perfect moment to take you out, you know. But essentially they both need each other, and this is where they kind of form their alliance. We finally get that kind of conversation, which is really dope. But I'll talk about more about episode 15 when I have my panel with me, and we can kind of discuss episode 15 in more of a lengthy fashion. Man, let me know how you guys feel about this episode, man. I thought this was really dope. And like I said, there's no way that this series is going to end with just episode 16. There's so much to still talk about. I haven't watched the preview, but till next time, next week, I will see y'all later. Peace.